plus, and in those with weakened immunity. A vaccine is available right now that's 90% effective. So see your provider, talk to your Kinney pharmacist, or make an appointment at KinneyDrugs.com. You do not want shingles. Trust me.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Attention, your money is now controlled by the U.S. government.
Picture a world where your every purchase is monitored, tracked, and controlled by those in power to suppress the freedoms of those they see fit. Hi, my name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. And right now, I've become very focused on the impending rollout of the central bank digital currency. This is not a work of fiction. It's a terrifying reality looming on the horizon. But there is a bit of good news. I've partnered with Advantage Gold to offer you a solution. They are specialists in converting your traditional assets, like those inside an IRA or 401k, into tangible assets such as physical gold and silver. Don't allow your money to be controlled. Claim your free gold protection kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor.
Call 800-900-8000.
Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
A little fog out there this morning and kind of has that yellowish. Is that the sunshine? Or is that more of the smog and the smoke? I don't know.
Well, let me see here. I'm going to run.
It's hard to tell these days. You just don't know. Is it fog, or is it smoke from the Canadian wildfires?
According to airnow.gov, we are in a good zone.
All right,
the city
so
of Utica, for example.
Must just be fog then.
Let's see here. And then let me try Rome. Let's see here. Let's see if they're also with a good score. Utica was at 46, and
that's a pretty good number right there.
Rome is also at 46. Yes, it is.
Davey, let's talk about Hines. That was a big loss for and a freak accident for the Buffalo Bills.
Sure is, especially opening training camp today.
Yeah.
Only down to 4 running backs now, I guess. It looks like they're going to have to probably make a move after the roster cuts before training camp ends to get a decent.
Because he's the guy on a kickoff return that you want to take the ball. You want him to take the ball.
Yeah, he was going to be doing the punt returns too, from what I read.
Yeah.
Bizarre accident. Hopefully he'll be back next season.
So the bizarre accident is he's sitting on a what do they call him? A Sea-Doo or jet ski, whatever they are. And apparently somebody on another one ran into him. You and here you are, this very valuable NFL football player.
Yeah.
Looking forward to what could very well be an amazing season. What do you think? How do you think the person who ran into him felt?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, does the person realize that it's Nyheim Hines? Was it a buddy of his, or was it just some other person out on the water?
Yeah.
Can he sue this person, right? Because he's probably going to lose a lot of money this year.
Yeah, well.
I don't know if those contracts are guaranteed if you don't play at all. I'm pretty sure they're not.
They just signed him to a big off-season deal, too. They upped it to 2-year deal on him.
Well, and the funny thing is, this isn't something that he did, right?
Right.
But again, it always seems to be these. I remember and even in high school sports when the coach, here you are, high school sports, and a Class C school in the middle of upstate New York, that the team that probably has no chance of really going anywhere beyond the conference championship. And the coach saying, all right, I don't want anybody skiing. There'll be no skiing this season. Mm-hmm. Because what happens every year is somebody gets hurt. So, that's on a small high school level.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's like with the NFL.
Well, I would say, though, if you're an NFL player and you make all that money and you have all that fame, my counter argument would be, look, you can't tell me I can't go jet skiing. What do I do all this for? All this fame, all this money, all this glory.
Right. Well, you never know what that contract says.
That's true.
A lot. You're being paid a lot of money.
There's an old story way back in the Mets days when I was growing up of Jeff Kent allegedly falling off his truck when he was washing it. I think, as it turned out, he got injured in a motorcycle accident. And the reason they came up with that story was because his contract said he wasn't allowed to ride a motorcycle.
Right. There are things in contracts that limit what you can and cannot do.
Unfortunately, there are several instances of that happening where it is funny where a lot of times it is a guy fresh off a new contract that ink hasn't even dried yet.
Yeah. And then, I saw some odd lightning yesterday. Lightning that was going across the sky. Some pretty sharp smacks of lightning.
Yeah.
Yesterday, of course, the sun would shine, and then we'd be hit with a thunderstorm, and that went on. That series, of course, we all know, went on yesterday over and over again. And then in Madison County, where the lightning strike happened, what's the thing we're always told not to do during a thunder and lightning storm? Is take cover underneath a tree.
Yeah, so I'm always intrigued by that. I've always thought that was an odd thing. They say don't go under a tree, and I've always thought, well, how won't it protect you? I can understand the concern of, okay, a branch gets hit and it falls on you.
No, it's not that. It's the lightning. So the lightning hits the tree, which goes down through the tree, and then you just become a part of the trunk that gets because it's looking to be grounded.
It wasn't a tree. They said they were standing next to a flagpole.
I saw a flagpole, but you had tree this morning.
Yeah, no, they were standing under a tree, but they were near a flagpole. The flagpole.
So it hit the flagpole first, and then it hit a tree, but that is not where you want to. That's not where you want to be.
This is
that is going to find the lightning will find the ground. At some point, it'll find the ground, and if you're under a tree, you're in the path. You're in the path.
Officials say the 3 men were out doing contracting work on Forbes Road in Lincoln yesterday and had taken shelter under a tree during a thunderstorm. The lightning bolt then hit a nearby flagpole, which resulted in the men being hurt. They were all brought to a nearby hospital and are expected to survive. One of the men did need CPR to be revived.
One is still or was in critical condition, I believe.
Yes.
But they say they will all survive. But it is one of the I almost feel like this is one of those things where, this is the problem with your parents telling you stuff that is not true. Like, don't swim. You can't go swimming until an hour after you eat. That's not true.
No?
No.
Well, I've always heard what
you
I was
can't
always told
eat a cucumber sandwich and drink milk. It'll kill you. That's not true.
I've always heard 30 minutes because your muscles could cramp up, which I always thought was odd, but
it's not true. I mean, listen, if you're a freaking pig and you just eat an entire watermelon and 3 hoagies, well, then I guess you might not want to. If you're having a problem walking, I would suggest you don't jump in the pool.
Well, you might float better, though.
You might. But the reality is that has no truth either. So, but do people lump in this thing? Yeah, my parents used to say, don't go under a tree during a thunder and lightning storm. Give me a break. Boom.
Yeah. What are some of the other good ones? My mother used to tell me, don't make that face. It'll get stuck that way.
Yep. Well, that's true. It depends on how long you're making the face. My uncle's house was hit with lightning many years ago, a long time ago. And it, just to give you an idea of the power of lightning, it knocked out of the wall the outlets.
Oh, my goodness.
Knocked them right out of the wall.
So how does that work if, we said if you're under a tree.
Maybe that's not true either. Maybe I was lied to about that. Yes, you knocked them right out of the wall, the outlets. So don't get near an outlet during a thunder and lightning storm.
Well, if your house was struck and you're in it, is it the same type of a deal where you'd be electrocuted?
No. But you could be in a position where, where you're, like if you're in the shower, you shouldn't be in the shower or a bathtub while there's a thunder and lightning storm.
Yeah.
All these things they are true. But the odds of being struck by lightning, the odds of your house being struck by lightning are rather low, high against it. So, but it can happen. So you got to be careful. In this case, for these guys, thankfully, it looks like they will survive and all will be well, but it'll be something that they will always remember. I believe Leon Etienne has been struck by lightning. Remember Leon's story? I believe Leon was struck by lightning.
Yeah, as a child, right?
Yeah, which gives him the powers that he has today to entertain, I believe. Take it for what it is.
It's amazing to me that you can survive that. I wonder what that feels like.
While Rob is showing a picture, it looks like he had a tree in his yard that was struck by lightning. A huge pine branch came down. Was that lightning, Rob, or was that just the wind? Yeah, you got to be careful out there.
Oh, here's another one from the old things your mother would tell you.
Things your mother told you as a kid that you learn later on in life that might not be true.
Don't swallow watermelon seeds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, might have been a fear that they would start growing in your stomach.
Right. You
don't want that.
What's that protruding from your stomach? It's a watermelon vine.
It's my new excuse, by the way. But asking you look like you put on about 15 pounds. Well, I had too many watermelon seeds this summer. I think I got something growing in there.
Let's see. This is also an upstate New York story. Palermo, New York. A central New York man was arrested Monday for raping a 16-year-old girl who attended a high school graduation party he threw over the weekend.
No, I did hear
45-year-old Thomas McCord was charged with first-degree rape, endangering the welfare of a child, and unlawfully dealing with a child. The Palermo resident was accused of providing alcohol and marijuana to minors, including the 16-year-old girl during the party at his home.
And how old is he?
45 years old.
Yeah, class act.
Yeah, you got to know better.
If he did it. But,
okay. Rob says that was the wind that took down that big branch in his backyard.
So I find it was interesting yesterday. Now, again, I know we talked with Craig Flint yesterday, but I just, out of habit, happened to glance at my phone yesterday morning and then again yesterday afternoon, and it was all sun globes throughout the afternoon, although I knew there was a chance because we had talked about it in the morning that there was a chance that we could see maybe some rain showers and maybe a thunderstorm that would be severe. And obviously that's what happened yesterday. We actually got quite a bit of rain yesterday. I just find it interesting. I don't understand how these storms just pop up as they do. Is it because we're in a valley? Is it the part of the state we're in? You know what I mean? Because I feel like
I just think there were a series of thunderstorms moving through the area that this sort of thing happens all over the country. I'm not sure that it's prone to a valley area like we live in, although it might be. It might have something to do with lake effect, but I don't think so. I think it just, you see these disturbances, and when you look at the radar, you'll see several of these thunderstorms, and sometimes they join together. And then when it's a day like yesterday where it's split up, you have thunderstorm and then sunshine and clearing. But you could look over into the distance, and you'll see dark skies where it might be thunder and lightning. It's just one of those days.
And then
but don't trust me because I have no clue.
It stormed really good at like 6 o'clock last night. I mean, the rain came down hard. A lot of lightning and a lot of thunder.
I thought this was interesting. You're seeing a lot of these new THC drinks popping up. And apparently there are new cannabis rules that are creating limits for sales of THC drinks. I know that Fred Matt said that there's one that's going to be coming that they're putting out. And there are others out there as well, including Beacon Skiff Apple Orchards in Lafayette. If you've been out there, and of course they put out some really great hard cider and great cider as well. But they have a line of cannabis-infused seltzers. And right now there are changes enacted, which happened last week by the New York Cannabis Control Board, setting new limits on sales of certain heirloom beverages and similar products around the state. The board closed a loophole that had allowed shops to sell cannabis beverages derived from hemp containing levels of THC that are comparable to those made from marijuana. The new rules will limit the sale of higher-level THC beverages to the state-licensed recreational marijuana dispensaries. There are now only 21 of them across the state. So is it possible now that those can't be sold at a brewery, or they can't be sold? I think that's the new rule. What I love about this whole thing is, like gambling, we've legalized it, but then we've added some really weird rules.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're going to do it, just do it. You're still allowing people to do it, but you add all these restrictions that just, in the case of marijuana, I think forces people or inspires people to continue to do it on their own, right? Still use somebody that they know, as opposed to going to a dispensary where it'll cost you a lot more money.
It is funny how they come up with some of these rules. I just feel like there's a contingent in the legislature that they need this group's vote, whoever the group might be, or what. Right. And they go,
well, the gambling is a good example where gambling is legal now in New York State. But I don't think horse racing and sports betting can be done in the same place. And that's probably, you say, well, that's to protect the people. No, that's to protect the industries. That's to protect OTB and all of these, quote, racinos. And then there's the part where you can't bet on a New York team.
Yeah, a college team.
Right, a New York college team.
Yeah.
Heirloom, which makes edible gummies and vape products as well, has been producing two variations of its seltzer. Both contain 5 milligrams of THC per serving and have a THC to CBD ratio of 1:1. The difference is that the Heirloom seltzers made from marijuana have been and will continue to be sold at the licensed dispensaries, where those made from hemp have been available at less regulated CBD and similar shops. The hemp-based products have also been available through online ordering, but Heirloom is now discontinuing that. The new rules limit hemp-based beverages for sale at the CBD stores and similar outlets to 1 milligram of THC per serving and a 15-to-1 ratio CBD to THC. Do all of these numbers and letters mean anything?
No. A 15-to-1 ratio CBD to THC.
Well, before it was 1-to-1. So
okay. So you can load it up with a lot more CBD than
a lot more THC. So they're requiring more of the I don't know. But basically, sounds like they want it to be more watered down, less of the THC. But again, I don't know what that does. What would that do to an FX Matt brewery, which is producing THC? You'd have to produce it in a way where it met that 15-to-1 ratio, and it would ultimately be less potent.
Okay, here we go. This is from Phil in Frankfurt again. This is just a comment, but it's in line with what we're talking about. New York State government regulations receiving the dispensary licenses for the people that were poorly affected by the previous laws receiving that business for them, I believe they said.
Right, there's some people who went to jail for marijuana and today have been awarded dispensary licenses.
Correct, but... Okay, so what he's saying is people of color were unjustly persecuted under the previous laws, so they get the business.
Well, either way, there are 21 dispensaries right now that are open in New York State. So the more potent THC drinks will only be able to be sold there. Interesting. Boeheim's Army faces Team Gibson, Davey, in the first round of the basketball tournament at 7 p.m. on Monday. I guess that was that last night? I think they won last night, right?
Yeah, they won convincingly last night. They look pretty good. Ryan Blackwell's the coach.
Okay, all right. And why do they call it? Boeheim's not there. Why do they call it? It's just named after Boeheim.
Yeah, because
what it is?
It's Boeheim's Army. They're the defending champs. They won 2 years ago. They won the whole thing.
Okay.
So this round is being played at the arena at OCC. I believe it's called the Upstate Arena now.
Okay, all right.
But it's Boeheim's Army because it's all Syracuse alum. I understand that he's gone now.
And it's in honor of Boeheim.
Yes.
Well, but let me ask you this: who runs the basketball tournament? Is it 3-on-3, or is it 5-on-5?
It's a 5-on-5 basketball tournament.
And it's half court or full?
It's full court.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just a basketball game.
Okay. And who puts it on?
Johnny Rocket, I believe, isn't it?
Sponsored by Johnny Rocket.
I don't
mention
know
this ad and get a large fry with a Coke.
Who puts it on? It's the league, right? It's like a summer league.
Some time of league.
It's not the NBA.
No. It could be Adam Wiseman who's behind it.
Could be. Anything could be possible. Have you seen the movie? We were talking yesterday that Barbie, of course, is enormous. And Oppenheimer, not so enormous, but there's still two very big blockbusters that are out there in movie theaters. And for the first time in a long time, people are going out and they're checking out movies in theaters. I even had last night, my wife said, I think we'll go see Oppenheimer. You know why it is? Is all the guys that are in it? She likes all the guys that are in it. That's what it is. So anyway, apparently in Oppenheimer, there is a topless scene in Oppenheimer.
Okay.
And let me see if I can grab this story just quickly. Florence Pugh. The scene in Oppenheimer where she is topless is digitally placed in there. She's not really topless. At what point in life do we actually have a digital aura that I wouldn't call it an aura. Just you turn it on, it's like all of a sudden, well, look at that Bill Keeler. He is like 6 feet tall. Look at that. When in reality, I'm not. But what you're seeing is, I mean, they're able to do it in movies.
It's a
huge movie, though. Both of these are really, really good. I have coming up in a second where, and basically what you're looking at is artificial intelligence. Really, it's artificial. It's not really her, but it looks like it in the movie, and it looks real. So I have coming up the best AI music piece that I have ever heard since all of this AI thing has started. And I'll play it for you coming up in a little bit. It's unbelievable. And it involves the Barbie movie and Johnny Cash. And I am telling you, it sounds like Johnny Cash is performing. And it's flawless. So we'll get into it in a second. I want to go to Tanya, though, right now. This story on Twitter, and I know she only has a couple of minutes here, but this story on Twitter, to me, I don't understand at all. They're changing their name. They're changing their logo. Tanya Powers.
Bye-bye Birdie, literally?
Is there no longer a tweet? Do you no longer tweet someone? I mean, it's become like Kleenex and Coke. And Tanya, good morning. What do we know about this?
Good morning. Yeah, that's the question a lot of people have asked. If you take a brand or a company and you gut it from the employees that are there that have built it,
yeah,
and then you take the name of it away, and you make it into a different thing, is it still the company you bought?
Yeah.
I mean,
boy.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
what is the? Yeah, exactly. On Monday, that is when the Twitter bird was replaced on its official account, Twitter's official account, with the black and white X. Elon Musk had, of course, warned that the platform was going to retire the bird logo and eventually the Twitter name. He's trying to overhaul the company. The X matches his early payment processing company, X.com, and the recently named parent company of Twitter is X Holdings. So, this probably isn't, that much of a shock once you actually kind of put together some of the things sort of behind it. But yeah, when you pay $44 billion for a platform and then completely change it, I mean, it is going to be interesting to watch to see what else happens with this. Apparently, he's trying to make it into more than just a social media platform. He's trying to make it into something more along the lines of instant messaging and payments and things like that.
Well, I find it interesting. I mean, it must be working for him. Must be like if you've ever worked for a really attention deficit boss, who the minute he'll tell you or she'll tell you to do one thing, and then you start working on it, and all of a sudden they change their mind and they're out of the blue, everything's changing. I mean, think about it. You're not even working for Twitter anymore. It's completely been changed.
So I find this interesting. I just opened Twitter, and I'm not a big tweeter, but it looks exactly the same to me. And
it will for now.
The first thing that popped up was Elon Musk has changed the Twitter like button from a red heart to a blue heart. What the heck does that mean?
Brilliant, Tanya. Brilliant.
I have no idea what that means or why he did it. I'm rarely on Twitter. I used to use Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
I had a blue check mark and the whole 9 yards, and used it a ton, and just really have not done much in the last several months at all on it. I rarely am on it now.
Well, Twitter,
it's not because of Elon Musk necessarily. Right. It's just that I'm just not on it that often.
Twitter became like a minefield. If you put something up, you just got hammered and hammered and hammered. Or if you weren't hammering somebody, your tweet went nowhere. It became kind of like that bird, the Twitter bird, became very angry. It was an angry bird, I'm afraid. So, but again, you just kind of wonder, maybe there's a brilliance behind. I mean, look at what Elon Musk has accomplished in his life. It's pretty impressive. So maybe there's a brilliance behind it, and he's so smart the rest of us can't see it. Maybe that's it, Tanya.
Maybe.
Brilliance.
So the last thing Tanya tweeted about was the father there who allegedly killed his son. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, and it was a retweet on
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
On March 2nd.
Yeah.
It's been a while, Tanya. We miss you.
Yeah, I got to say, Tanya.
tweet.
I seriously doubt anybody misses me on Twitter. It kind of got to the point there where if I tweeted anything especially about work or the stories I was covering or anything, you just get hammered. For no reason. The bots would just complain, and it was like, you know what? I have better things to do with my time. Yep. I can make my own little world a better place in some other way. So that's one of the reasons that I was just kind of like, you know what? I don't. Yeah.
And I think that is exactly why people are not on Twitter today. It just isn't, you just get hammered. There's so much you can handle. It's like I'm not doing it anymore. All right, Tanya, thank you. As always, have a wonderful day.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News.
You want to know the heart meanings?
At Tanya J. Powers on Twitter.
Do you want to know the see, it depends on, I have different meanings here depending on where I go. Okay, so the hearts, you'll notice this on social media, where there might be a red heart or a yellow heart or an orange heart or a brown or a blue. Okay, so this that I'm looking at here tells me the meanings, but there's a little variation here. So the red heart means love, yellow means friendship, a green heart means jealous, purple extravagance, an orange heart means admiration, white means purity, blue means peace. So if he's going from red to blue, the blue heart, I guess, means peace.
Oh, maybe that's his reasoning for it.
Brown means stability, and black means sorrow. Now, I don't know why we need 9 heart colors, but then I go to this other page,
You need a key. For somebody like me, I have no idea. Some people know automatically. It's like, oh, that's a yellow heart. I know exactly what that means. But for me, I'd need a key. What heart should I use for this one? I would be lost.
So then I go to this other page, and it tells me, of course, red means love, and it says specifically love you more than a friend. Yellow means best friend. On the other thing, it told me a green heart meant jealousy. On this page, it tells me it means you're in the friend zone.
Okay.
The other one told me that blue meant peace. This one tells me a blue heart means you're in the friend zone. Purple on the other one meant admiration, but here it means I hate you, yet I still love you. The black one on the other page means sorrow. On this page, it says it means I hate you.
I just can't keep up with all of it. I don't know what this is going to do. And then what happened to the Facebook? What was their new platform called? Do you remember? It just came out a couple weeks ago. Everybody was all excited about it, and then it just died. Like nobody's paying attention to it at all.
Does that mean I'm really old? Does that mean we're really old?
I believe we probably are. So the movie out is called the Barbie movie that is out, and there's a song out from Aqua. Is that the name of the artist? Aqua? Davey? You're big into this.
Barbie?
They play this in the clubs.
Aqua or Agua?
Wink, wink.
I got you now.
See what I'm saying? Here's a little piece of, if I can get this to play, a little piece of the.
This is the Barbie girl. So this is
Barbie girl.
Agua. I think.
Agua.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie way.
This is like a 20-year-old song.
It is, yeah. It's a remix, though, of it, right? A redo of the song. No?
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Whatever. Anyway, so somebody called...
Oh, it is Aqua, not Agua. Aqua.
Somebody called There I Ruined It. Aqua. There I Ruined It is the YouTube channel. And it's Johnny Cash doing Barbie Girl.
Okay, let's hear it.
In Johnny Cash style, however. And I got to say, this is all artificial intelligence. 100%. The applause you're going to hear in the background, the music you're going to hear, the backup singers, everything, Johnny Cash's voice, Johnny Cash talking, all of it is artificial intelligence. Listen to how good this really is. I'm not Johnny Cash. That's not bad, right?
Yeah, that's scary.
This is scary. Okay. Well, the inmates really like it, I got to tell you. This is at Folsom Prison. I
Far from Folsom Prison.
Oh, there you go. That's called, the channel is called There. I Ruined It. I love it. But that is pretty darn scary.
It is.
I mean, you might say, well, it's not perfect. It's pretty darn close.
I will tell you, I just saw at the end of last week, it was AI with, and I don't know if this is considered the deep fakes that they call them, or if this is just AI. I don't know really the difference between the two, but it was a picture of Joe Biden, and then there's like the mouth moving, but it sounded just like him, although there is a little unnaturalness in the delivery. Okay,
Yeah,
so it sounds just like him, but if you listen closely, you go, "Oh, that's really not him."
The beauty of this is it sounded pretty darn natural.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of like almost like voice stretching, but if you listen close, it's really hard to pick it up.
It would be hard to pick. I mean, just if you're listening, you really wouldn't know.
It was Trump and Biden going back and forth, telling jokes, trying to get each other to laugh, and obviously they were inappropriate jokes. But I thought to myself, well, look, I mean, that's obvious. You can tell it kind of sounds like their voice, but the reality is if you heard that, 99% of people would know that that's not really them.
Right.
With this.
Right. Most people would not know.
With this, most people would not know that's not Johnny Cash.
Ray, I did see the Elvis one. Ray is Ray Richard. Good morning, Ray. Saying there's an Elvis version out that the same group put out. And it is to Don't Be Cruel, but it's the song Baby Got Back. And if you want to hear this one, I just don't think this one is as good. Is it all not playing?
Yeah, where was that coming up?
It would come up here. I can't tell if these lights are on or off. Are you saying
Sorry.
it wasn't going over YouTube?
Dawn says can't hear the audio.
Sorry about that, Don. You'll hear this, though. This is Elvis.
Oh, I like big butts and I cannot lie. Well, brothers, I can't deny. And when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round titty in your face, you get sprung. You get sprung. Oh, you get sprung.
There you go. Baby got back.
Deep in the jeans she's wearing, I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Baby got back. Ooh, my anaconda don't want none unless you got a buzz hot. I'm begging for a piece of that bubble, so go and find that you should double, and you get sprung.
You get sprung.
Oh, you get sprung. I don't know no other but.
Listen, if you know this song, you love it.
You know.
There we go. Little Elvis doing Baby Got Back. That's Elvis, the king. Baby got back.
So weird.
I didn't like that one as much, but I mean, there's parts that don't sound like Elvis there a little bit, but that's pretty good, right?
It is pretty good. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Welcome to, and listen, all I can say about this is today is July 25th, 2023. Imagine what we'll be listening to on July 25th, 2030. Yeah. I mean, just give it 7 years. What will it be like? What will the ability, the quality be like? Because I got to tell you something. The stuff we're listening to now is so much better than what we heard 5 months ago when this story really first broke. It is getting better. Yeah. So take it for what it is. Wow.
So
wow.
Just as an example of why this stuff freaks me out, instead of a bar having a live performer, you can just say, at some point, I would imagine in the near future, any famous person, you can get Richard Nixon to sing "Baby Got Back."
Well, and that's the thing that they're fighting right now over the writer's strike and the actor's strike that's going on right now. All of part of this, and you're going to see the same stuff happen in music. I believe we're going to see, unless they cut a deal, because here's the situation. If you can't get an artist, like let's say, I mean, there has to be laws about this. Just think about, for us, our bumper music on YouTube. If we use too much bumper music, like popular bumper music, and it's just what we would normally use on the radio, but on YouTube we get dinged because of a copyright violation. That's not happening right now with our artificial intelligence. So let's say you're Tide, and you want to have, Prince doing a Tide song. So you can then take Purple Rain and use artificial intelligence to get Prince to sing a Tide version of that song for you. I mean, that's stealing that's copyright infringement. But the rules aren't there in place yet. This is about to explode very, very badly. And actors and actresses are saying the same thing. You know, you can't use my likeness. Like, just think about in the Barbie movie, an Oppenheimer, you're looking at a scene where naked breasts are being shown, but you know what? It's not hers. She gave that permission. She didn't want to do the live scene where she had to take her top off, but they were able to create it, and you can't tell the difference. So that's the scary part for the Actors Guild.
I find it interesting. Right as we were going into Tanya J. Powers, I Googled Florence Pugh, and the first thing that comes up right on my screen here, you see this picture of her in the pink? That's a see-through shirt. I don't understand why she did AI. Her first Google picture that comes up is her wearing a see-through pink shirt. But she had to do AI for the movie because she didn't want anybody to see her top.
I don't get it. I don't understand, but it is what it is. Today is National Tequila Day. National Tequila Day.
Okay.
You know, when we were in Mexico a few years back, I bought a bottle of tequila that you can't find here. And it might be the smoothest tequila I've ever tasted. I mean, you could not like alcohol. Like if you drank a little bit of alcohol, you would shiver. You could taste this and you'd be like, wow, that's smooth. I don't think there's any alcohol in it. Maybe there isn't. But there's some really great tequilas out there. It is a great drink for sipping, not just mixing in your drinks. And today is National Tequila Day. Not the song, but the actual alcohol.
How is it not Cinco de Mayo? How is it not May 5th as National Tequila Day?
Because they like to sell it on Cinco de Mayo and on July 25th.
Oh, gotcha.
Apparently. That's all these days. I don't know who you commissioned to get a special day, but, it's all about, hey, I got to drink tequila today. And it probably increases sales. Hey, we've moved our way through this 6 o'clock hour. We got a lot going on next hour. A lot of stuff. Dr. Hall is on. Hobica's free money question of the day goes to $200 today. We have an amazing story about a local young lady, and we'll get into it coming up. Brian Miller is on later on. Hold on tight. Next hour.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This is rising to the level of impeachment inquiry.
That's what House Speaker Kevin McCarthy tells Fox as GOP lawmakers prepare to question a key witness next week.
Investigators with the House Oversight Committee plan to speak soon with Devin Archer, a former business associate of Hunter Biden, about then Vice President Biden's involvement in business meetings. Testimony Committee Chairman Republican James Comer says reveals a corrupt influence peddling scheme.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. The House Republicans will also get to question the U.S. attorney who led the Hunter Biden tax investigation. The Justice Department says David Weiss will testify perhaps in September after two IRS whistleblowers allege there was interference that hampered the probe benefiting the president's son, who will plead guilty tomorrow to 2 tax evasion misdemeanors.
The White House is still denying any wrongdoing by the president himself, with White House spokesman Ian Sams tweeting their eagerness to go after the president regardless of the truth is seemingly bottomless.
Fox's Brooks Sigmund. Today, the president will sign a proclamation to establish a national monument to honor Emmett Till, whose death in Mississippi in 1955 helped propel the civil rights movement. Till was accused of whistling at a white woman, then abducted and murdered. His white killers were acquitted. Texas is not backing down after the federal government sued the state, demanding Republican Governor Greg Abbott remove floating barriers along a stretch of the Rio Grande River. The lawsuit calls them unsafe and an overreach. The governor tells Fox he'll fight all the way to the Supreme Court.
All the Biden administration has to do is to enforce the laws already on the books that prevent people from crossing between the ports of entry.
North Korea test-launched 2 more missiles today in the ongoing nuclear standoff with the U.S. There's still no update on the American soldier who fled to North Korea last week to avoid being sent back to the U.S. for military discipline after Travis King was jailed in South Korea for assault. America's listening to Fox News.
Don't let earache from swimmer's ear, clogged ears, or allergies ruin your day. Get fast, effective relief from the pain and itching with Hyland's Earache Drops, the #1 best-selling earache treatment for over 10 years. See why it's received thousands of 5-star reviews and was awarded Best Over-the-Counter Medicine and Health Product in Earache Relief by U.S. News and World Report. Find Hyland's Earache Drops in the eye and ear aisle at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Claims based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
We have mostly cloudy skies, 62 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. Well, 3 people recovering after being hit by lightning after a lightning strike happened in Madison County yesterday. Officials say the 3 men were doing contracting work on Forbes Road in the town of Lincoln and had taken shelter under a tree during a thunderstorm. The lightning bolt then hit a nearby flagpole, which resulted in the men being injured. One of the men needed CPR to be revived. He's currently in critical condition at a nearby hospital. However, all 3 men are expected to survive. The Schenectady County Legislature voting to approve an emergency order aimed at putting a pause on the arrival of asylum seekers. Dozens of migrants were recently sent to the Super 8 motel in Rotterdam late last week, displacing those who were already staying there. A meeting was held in that town last night. Many of the folks who attended expressed frustration about the lack of communication before the migrants arrived. The emergency declaration will not affect migrants currently staying at that motel. Drivers across central New York handing over more money to fill up their vehicles as the price of gas is going up a tick. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel here in the Utica-Rome market is now $3.78 a gallon. That's actually up 2 cents from just yesterday. Our neighbors in Syracuse paying a full dime less at an average of $3.68. The statewide average is $3.70 a gallon. New information being revealed about the death of a central New York woman who died late last week. Officials were called to a home at Greenpoint Avenue in Rotterdam where they found the body of a 24-year-old. An autopsy conducted yesterday says that she died of natural causes. The name of the woman has not been made public. No additional details about that case is being released. And the State Department of Health is urging state residents to protect themselves against rabies. It's considered a deadly virus, and people can get infected if they're bitten by an animal that has the illness. Officials say the best thing to do is to stay away from animals like raccoons, skunks, and foxes, and also to make sure that your pets are up to date on their rabies vaccinations. Anyone who is exposed to rabies should get medical treatment immediately. And lottery players hoping luck is on their side tonight. The Mega Millions jackpot is now the 5th largest in history. The game's top prize has grown to $820 million ahead of tonight's drawing. The last top prize winner was back in April, although there have been several $1 million winners claimed since then. The cost to play is $2 per ticket. The drawing will be streamed live online. WIBX News Time coming up on 7:06. Hoping to stay dry this afternoon. Here's what we can expect from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, a mixture of sunshine and clouds, warm but not too humid. There's only a small chance for a pop-up downpour thunderstorm in the afternoon. Most places will be dry, a high of 84. Tonight, mainly clear to partly cloudy, near 60. And tomorrow, a good deal of sunshine, warm but not too humid again, high of 87. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies and 62 degrees at 7:06. And in sports, are you excited? Subway Series tonight?
I will watch. And this is the week, though, right? If the Mets do not go on a tear, I just don't know how they could get back into it. Although, really the only chance would be the wild card spot. But the Yankees are in the same tough position. In better shape, certainly, than the Mets, but,
you typically tend to be we're not done until it's mathematically impossible.
I'm saying that is true. And I'm still not, I'll still be watching.
The Subway Series tonight in the Bronx,
however,
2-game series.
After losing 2 of 3 to Boston, it feels unlikely.
Domingo Germán starting for the Yankees against Justin Verlander. They almost have exact opposite records. The Mets are 46-53. The Yankees are 53-47. Elsewhere in sports, the Jets are bringing back a modernized version of arguably the franchise's most popular uniform. On Monday, the team revealed its legacy white throwback uniforms, a design reminiscent of the uniforms worn by the team from 1979 through 1989. The Jets will wear those throwbacks twice in the regular season, including the season opener Week 1 on September 11th against the Buffalo Bills. The Green Bay Packers saying they will take at least a half season to decide on Jordan Love. The team president telling the media on Monday that Jordan Love gets at least 9 games to prove himself. Murphy compared the first year of Aaron Rodgers, who took over for quarterback for Brett Favre, and said, even though we ended up with a losing record that year, we saw enough of Aaron to know that we had something special. The Pack extended Rodgers midway through that first season. He finished with over 4,000 yards and 28 touchdowns. Love was extended in the offseason with a contract that runs through 2024. And an ugly, stupid, nonsensical injury. Bad luck, I guess, is what it boils down to. And I'm not saying it was stupid on his part. The Bills are losing a key special teamer in a freak accident. ESPN says running back and kick returner Nyheim Hines of the Buffalo Bills suffered a season-ending injury to his left ACL after he was struck by a jet ski. Hines reportedly was sitting on a stationary jet ski when he was hit. He'll eventually need surgery on that knee. He's 26 years old. The Buffalo Bills player had 16 punt returns and 19 kickoff returns last year. He is expected to return healthy ahead of the 2024 season.
Yeah, next year.
Next year.
Yeah, not good. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Did you see that Roger Waters has a new version of the song "Money" out?
No, is it sung by, I don't know, Bill Cosby?
It's the 50th anniversary of The Dark Side of the Moon. So Roger Waters has re-recorded Dark Side of the Moon. And if you were expecting a note-for-note remake, his release of the song "Money" will end that completely. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
I've got about...
this is real. This is not AI,
This is
right?
real. This is real. Now, he's saying he's reimagining the album, and it's not meant to replace the original, not meant to replace the song "Money," but to celebrate its 50th anniversary. Here's the beginning of the new 7.5-minute version of the song "Money." Here we go. Like I said, this is real.
Money. It's a gas. Grab that cash with both hands and make a stash.
I mean,
if you're a fan, I
think about me, a football team.
I mean, Bob Dylan could do this, right? Could be Bob Dylan singing it. Money. It is a reinvented version of the song. He does not want it to replace, which it could not, right? But that is his new version of the song "Money." What do you think of that? We'll talk about it a little bit. And it is the 50th anniversary of the album. You seem speechless over it.
Because I could see, to be honest with you, you know what I was thinking?
I could see the version being done at like a concert. It's like, here's my reinvention, but to release it, I'm not sure.
Also in like a movie. So like I could see, I'm trying to think of what movie it is with the snake.
I could see it in a movie.
Right?
I could totally see it in a movie.
Like an animated something where the character sings his own version of this song. Again, it's a
like
different tempo, a different pace.
Like in a Disney movie, that could be like the angry, the angry king, the evil king, or what have you, in the Cinderella type movie, right?
Exactly.
But that's Roger Waters. Now remember, Roger Waters has a lot of different interpretations of things. He is not a fan of U.S. politics. In fact, when looking at looking at Russia versus the United States, he really sides with Russia. He feels that the aggressor is Great Britain and the United States and not Russia, not Putin. He has some pretty strong political views. But that is his version. Apparently, money is evil, unless, of course, he's collecting it.
Get away.
Right? Get away, money, but unless you're coming to me. Come to me. You do a pretty good impression there, actually. Right now, it's Steve Pawnee Mazda. It's the Move to Mazda sales event, and it is back and continuing and better than ever. 2.9% APR financing up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, and CX-50s. Enjoy 0% APR financing up to 36 months on the new 2023 Mazda CX-9. It is the Move to Mazda sales event. Ricky Z says, come on in. They have select vehicles ready for you. And Rick is all about the experience, having a great experience. It's no high-pressure sales campaign. You will not be pressured. They're going to work with you and help you. And Rick says, come in and let's make your deal on a brand-new Mazda. From the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, Steve Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Join us Monday, August 28th for the first annual MMRI Golf Classic charity event to enhance research in the categories of cardiovascular, neurocognitive, and autoimmunity disease right here in Utica, New York. Whether you're looking to become a sponsor, play in a foursome, or make a donation, your support of MMRI is appreciated. Visit mmri.edu/golf today to learn more about sponsorship levels and sign up for your foursome. We can't wait to see you there. That's mmri.edu/golf.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Online at CordellCordell.com, 518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in Central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Sarah's. Log on to their website at sarahsflooringoutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. It's selection, it's price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website in sarahsflooringoutlet.com and see for yourself, or visit their store in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
Adirondack Home Furniture is the area's go-to store for top-quality, durable, American-made pieces for any room. All month long, Adirondack Home Furniture is celebrating America with their Made in America sale. Stop in today and explore their extensive inventory and their many new arrivals for every room in your home. And don't forget, Adirondack Home Furniture has more than just rustic pieces. They carry a wide variety of modern, farmhouse style, and traditional. Are you looking for a better night's sleep? Then check out their selection of Restonic mattresses or Gold Bond flippable mattresses. Once you select the perfect piece for your space, they can deliver it locally for free of charge, or you can pick it up yourself from the showroom. So stop in to Adirondack Home Furniture today and celebrate America with the Made in America sale going on now. Adirondack Home Furniture in Riverside Center, Utica. Give them a call at 315-738-7817 or visit AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
Stop overpaying for your furniture. You can get a house full of furniture at My Carl's right now for just $59 a month. That's a living room, a dining room, a bedroom, and a free mattress, only $59 a month. See my store for complete details.
There are companies that go from fair to fair and show to show and sell mattresses and massage chairs. This is Kevin Fear from Mattress Express. The New York State Fair is right around the corner. Companies like this will be there. Every year, it seems people come into my store after the state fair and say, weeks later, we finally got our mattress or our massage chair, and it's not what we thought it was going to be. It doesn't feel the same, and this company is gone. They've left town. We don't know what to do, and we spent a lot of money. Don't make that mistake. Take a picture of the massage chair or take a picture of the mattress, get a picture of the model, bring it to Mattress Express. We will meet or beat the price. There's a very good chance we have that mattress in stock. No one has all the brands under one roof that Mattress Express has. When you buy from Mattress Express, for the same price or less, you'll get local delivery, local service. When there's a problem, you'll be able to pick up the phone or come in and talk to someone. Don't make the mistake of buying at the state fair. Come to Mattress Express.
I love that line. Don't make the mistake of buying at the state fair. For God's sakes. That's where you get your toffee. And is it taffy or toffee?
Think it's taffy?
That's where you buy your leather belt.
Yes.
Although Charlie Seeley would disagree. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. They're accepting new patients right now. Osteopathy has been around for years and years, and the beauty of osteopathy is it's combined with modern medicine, and it allows both to work when it comes to healing your pain, your issue, whatever it is, healing your body. It is using modern medicine, but also using your own body to help yourself heal. And it could mean less medicine. Talk to Dr. Shemalinsky, Dr. Zelensky, Dr. Kosminski, all physicians under one roof at the Falcon Clinic. Everything from acupuncture to just general practitioner. If you're looking for a new family doctor, they are there for you. Reach out today, 315-507-4751. 315-507-4751. It's the way medicine used to be, where your physician takes care of you, looks over your situation, takes that extra step, and performs a thorough investigation to get to the root of the problem. The Falcon Clinic, 315-507-4751. 315-507-4751 in Washington Mills.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, let's see. I want to do a couple of quick comments. So the lightning strike. Boy, we should all kind of take notice of that. Construction workers in Madison County or contractors in Madison County, they're dealing with a lightning storm that came through yesterday, thunder and lightning. What do? There's a tree nearby, a flagpole nearby. It's almost designed exactly the way Benjamin Franklin wanted it. They got under the tree, lightning hits the flagpole, goes to the tree. The three of them are electrocuted. Now, one of them in critical condition. It looks like they will all survive, right?
Yes, that's what they're saying. Yes.
But it's the one thing your mom always told you: don't go under a tree. And I don't know where you go, to be honest with you. Mike says I was at summer camp and we were canoeing, metal canoes, and suddenly, listen to this: a lightning storm came. The lake we were on was very big. A lightning strike occurred on the water miles away. Even though we were very far away, everybody's hair stood up because of the electricity in the water.
I don't know if that's real.
Oh, I think it's absolutely real.
How were they not injured? The only effect was that their hair stood up?
Only you would question this, Jeff. But all right.
Well, I mean, seriously,
it's real. Believe me, it's real. Didn't you do the little test in school where you put your hand on any of that whatever? I didn't pay much attention. At the time I had hair, I was just thrilled that I had hair and it was up on end.
So I don't look. This is just my reaction to that.
You know
story.
What we should do? We should book somebody who can explain it, and because I could not go toe to toe with you on this. If you say
neither
it's
could
not
I.
true.
I just have questions. I don't have answers.
Needless to say, so you're calling Michael a liar?
No, I'm not calling him a liar.
All right. Needless to say, we rode very, very quickly to the shore. Just shows you how powerful lightning is. And please believe the story I told about my uncle's house, where the outlets were literally blown from the wall. Anyway. And on negativity, we're talking about the new Twitter. He's changing everything. The bird is gone. The blue color is gone. The whole name is gone, right? It's not going to. You won't send out a tweet. You'll send out an X. Is that what the plan is? Because he's rebranding it as X. He says, with all the negativity, if you think about it, the forum topics was an early edition of where we are today with Twitter. And that's a good example.
Yeah, people say anything about anybody.
You feel more comfortable on Twitter to be able to just like say things you would never say to somebody in person. Anyway, that's X. There you have it.
Do you ever see when a lot of these hearings that go on in Washington, and this has been done by both Democrats and Republicans, they will read to candidates for a particular appointment. They will read back to them their tweets.
Yeah, right.
Pretty hilarious.
Mean tweets was Jimmy Fallon thing that was really good. And I think we did it on our Christmas show once.
Yes.
My favorite was the district attorney reading mean tweets to me, and I think he enjoyed every bit of it.
I think he did.
He did. Wayne says, for God's sakes, take a balloon and rub it on Manaski's head.
Well, you got to have hair up there in order for it to work, right?
In studio right now is Rob Hilton. Rob, good morning.
Morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. We appreciate you coming in. I did want to. You want to touch on any of the electricity? I mean, have you defended any? Have you represented families who maybe it was electric, lightning that was the problem?
In years past, I've had someone who died from
really
being electrocuted in the front yard. Yeah.
Wow.
From lightning bolt. Yep.
So it can happen.
Oh my goodness.
And it is that one thing that I think we were always taught as kids to not go under a tree. But you think of it as what are the chances, right?
Where do you go? I mean,
Where
that's
do
the
you
question.
go? Right.
I don't know if it's.
You're right. You're out on a golf course. Where do you go?
You don't raise your golf club. I know that.
You do not.
I've seen Caddyshack. I know that.
Do not do that. When should people start thinking about taking care of their family planning, whether it's a will or just making sure you have all of your affairs in order? When should people start thinking about it?
Well, I think certainly I think the most basic point is when you get married or when you have a child.
Yeah.
Or when you have someone in your life you care about.
Right.
Or you want things to run smoothly when you die. Any of those times would be triggering events. So essentially, 25 to 30 would be a good starting point.
Oh, wow. That's way younger than I thought.
I know it's hard to think, but you got people with a lot of young kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
And these things, we read the stories every single day. These are always, no one walks out of the door one day and says, today's going to be the day, something terrible, some freak accident is going to happen, and I'm going to lose my life. It's not something you plan.
I was looking at the obits this morning, as I do on occasion, and one of my college mates died this week. I didn't even know. He passed away my age, 56. And, you start to think again, wow, this could happen any time, right?
Yeah.
Just read today's obits and see how many people under 60 died.
Yeah.
So the answer is it's never too soon to start, but really the trigger is when do you have someone in your life that's important?
Right.
Obviously, spouse, children, things like that. What people don't know, and I think it really needs to be explained to people, is that if you don't have a will, New York State's got a will for you. Okay, you may not like it, but it's got one. If you don't have a healthcare proxy, New York State's got one for you. Okay, but if you don't
wait, what does that mean? Hold on.
The
will and the proxy.
They'll handle your affairs for you.
Yeah, New York State's got a plan.
Yeah.
It tells the court how to distribute your assets if you don't have a will.
And you might not like it.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a statute that provides that someone can make healthcare decisions for you if you're unable. And there's a hierarchy there, spouse, live-in significant other, partner, oldest child, et cetera, et cetera. However, the biggest problem we have is that there's no statutory non-drafted, non-signed power of attorney, so that if you don't have, or if you become incapacitated, and you don't have a signed power of attorney,
right,
basically your assets are frozen.
Right.
Your stuff can't be dealt with. Your bills can't be paid. And so, as I stress when I do presentations, I tell people, listen, if you take nothing else away from this conversation, understand that a power of attorney is incredibly important. And not only is it just a power of attorney, but the way it's drafted matters. It should be drafted properly. It should have certain things in it to give it a lot of flexibility and give your agent a lot of power in case something does happen to you.
Yeah. Can we talk about just quickly nursing home costs?
I have a question about
it's
this,
one of those things where everyone says, you're never going in a nursing home, or I'm never going in a nursing home. And then the unforeseeable happens. And there are many conflicts of broad spectrum, right? There are, in some cases, it may be a situation where the adult children cannot care for their adult parent. There's no choice. Something has to be done. You may be facing something like this down the road.
That's right. And I just had a call yesterday, a client of mine who's mentally worn out caring for her parent.
Yeah.
And so, nursing home becomes, for a lot of people, the only option at some point. And of course, it is expensive. Right now, it's $13,000 a month, and the average in this county. Neighboring Onondaga County, it's almost $15,000 a month. And so people are concerned about losing their homes, their assets, and there's certainly things you can do to plan ahead. You really should plan 5 years in advance or more, but there are things you can do at the last minute to protect certain assets. There are all kinds of tricks you can use. You should talk to someone who knows the rules, of course.
Right.
But it has become complicated in part because the home care system, which used to be widely used, is now sort of broken. And as a result, home care, which was available through Medicaid, is really not available right now. It's really hard to find home care providers.
Yeah.
And you're paying them privately under the table in the most instances. And so that system isn't working well.
Right.
And we're left with the nursing home, which, of course, is our fallback in most cases, but it's very expensive.
It's also gone through a real tough time with COVID.
It's gone a real tough time. And so
Yeah.
we have many of our nursing homes that have closed beds, which means that they just don't have staff.
Yep.
And so we have limited beds right now. And in fact, we have a waiting list at most nursing homes right now. The cost is up. We had a pretty significant jump this year, as you can imagine, because of inflation, et cetera. It's tough.
How can you and your office assist, and how do people reach out to you?
Well, they can call us at 624-9600. That's our phone number. And we can assist by planning ahead, of course, providing the information regarding nursing home, regarding the exceptions and rules for Medicaid, and how we can get someone eligible for Medicaid as soon as possible.
All right. Again, that phone number?
624-9600.
All right. Rob Hilton, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time. We'll take a quick break. Dr. Ken Hall standing by on the line. I want to get an update on MVHS. A lot of talk about, as the Turning Stone was celebrating their 30 years and talking about their 30 years going forward, a lot of talk about MVHS and the future that is going to be held in downtown Utica. We'll see where the progress is. I believe we may be under a milestone number that occurred, I think, on Friday. We'll talk to Dr. Hall on that coming up in a second. What the number is coming up, 7:30 at WIBX.
Hi, it's Jordan from Little Falls Lumber. Summer is a great time to freshen up the look of your home, and we have you covered. We stock a variety of name brand products from GAF shingles, LP vinyl siding, Sierra Pacific windows, to Moisture Shield composite decking, and premium grade pressure treated decking. We have options to fit any budget. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations, Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady, to see what we have in store, or visit us at littlefallslumber.com.
The Munson Arts Festival returns to downtown Utica with a car show on Sunday, July 23rd, and continues through Saturday, July 29th. Experience the best of the local art scene for free with a sidewalk art show, evening concerts, and so much more. Don't miss fun, family-friendly activities each day of the week, like children's crafts, a petting zoo, and art story with Utica Public Library. Starts 10 a.m. each day. See the full schedule at munson.art. That's munson.art.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, coming up, Biker's free money question of the day this morning. We go to $200 for Tuesday. We'll get to that coming up in a second. The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck Sedala, making sure that drive-through is lightning fast. You're in, you're out, and you are on your way with great coffee. It's Seattle's best. And, of course, lattes, up to 14 flavors, fresh donuts, fresh bagels every single day. It's Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford with that real fast. And that's very important when you're busy in the morning, that real fast drive-through. You're in and out, and you're on your way. Dr. Kent Hall standing by on the line right now. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good. So I believe I heard that on Friday you were 100 days from moving into from the move to the new hospital.
That's right. As of today, we have 96 days.
Wow. So it's getting close. I'm assuming that means, think about it. It's August coming up next week. And so I'm assuming the transition is something that is, because this is historic when you think about what's about to occur here. You're basically evacuating 2 hospitals and moving everybody into one, all within a 24-hour period. There has to be some massive planning to be able to pull this off.
Oh, you are spot on with that. I mean, this is true. To your point, this is truly historic, not just for the Mohawk Valley Health System or the healthcare system within Oneida County. This is truly historic for our community. I mean, how often does this happen where healthcare is transformed into a brand new state-of-the-art facility with all of the up-to-date technology and things. It is just phenomenal. But to your point, we've been in high mode planning we've been planning probably for the last 2 or 3 years, but high mode planning really for the last 6 months or so. And it really goes into yet another gear starting next month, next week, starting in August, when we'll start to train what we call train the trainers. So we're going to be training our own folks to actually train their colleagues in what the new hospital is like, not just the geography, but all the new technology. And we're going to be doing that for the month of August, and then in September, right after Labor Day, we start with really training all of the Mohawk Valley Health System staff that will be working within the hospital. And there are multiple training sessions every day. Every Mohawk Valley Health System member, employee, contracted employee that is going to be working within the hospital has to go through the orientation in order to start working. So it's a big endeavor.
Yeah.
Our education team has really been working overtime, setting up these plans.
It's amazing to me, too, how the, number one, the medical office building across the street, how quickly that has been going up, and how quickly the garage has been, it seems like, while it was behind schedule, because there were obviously some legal snags involved locally, but it seems like that has caught up a great deal of time. That's moving quickly.
Yeah, both of them are moving very, very quickly. They neither will be open when the hospital opens at the end of October, but there has been some catch up that has been done. So they'll be open afterwards, probably about 3 to 5 months. I don't have the exact time frame yet. That after the hospital.
Okay, all right. And then I just want one more item that I'd love to have you talk about. And that is the positioning of the rooms, the positioning of the hospital. And I mean positioning, the fact that it faces to the north, to the south, and the reasoning for that, and what the rooms will feature because of that strategic positioning.
Yeah, so that was very thoughtfully designed. Every room with the exception of the third floor, which is the intensive care unit, will face either, well, they all face north or south, but every room will have a view of the hills of the Mohawk Valley, and that was done very thoughtfully, and it relates to the healing nature of nature, and being able to actually view out into areas that are calming and soothing, and honestly, even in the winter, even in January and February, when you see the snow on the hills and stuff, there is truly a calming effect of that. So that was engineered into the placement of the building and the architectural design of it.
All right. And the plan is that each room will be a private room, right?
Correct. Each room will be a private room. There will be the ability for rooms on the end of each wing. So I think that totals about 10 rooms to actually be double rooms, but they will be set up as single rooms. So 373 beds in the new hospital.
I have Mike saying it's kind of interesting. The OD today, front page story, talking about the closing of St. Luke's. It says the closing/opening of the hospital is 101 days. Who's right, the OD or you?
I think I'm probably closer than that. I wonder if that might have been read or written on Thursday.
Yeah, I think so. Because on Friday it was 100. And I got that from a pretty reliable source, I will tell you. So, and then one more. I have somebody asking, Doc, and we'll move along, about colonoscopies. The prep for colonoscopies can be very, very difficult. It seems that an alternative is now being offered locally where you take pills instead of drink the drink. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so there are different modes of prep. There is a very large volume of drink. There's a smaller volume of drink. Sometimes they are done in conjunction with some medication in pill form. My understanding, and I'm not a gastroenterologist, but my understanding is that the pills alone do not give as good a prep, and so you may not have as good a view of what you want to see from looking for polyps and things like that.
All right, interesting. Okay, Doc, we appreciate. Oops, I have one more. Joe is saying, will the garage block the view of the rooms as they're looking out?
Yeah, no. Again, because the first two floors are procedural floors, emergency department. The second floor is where the ORs are and stuff. The third floor is the ICU. So it's the fourth floor through the ninth floor that will have those views, and they will be unobstructed.
Okay. All right, Doc. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Please stay cool. It's going to be hot for the rest of the week, and please be safe.
All right, it's going to be hot, and stay out of the lightning or whatever. Okay, thanks, Doc. By the way, Mike responding here this morning saying, Jeff, it's real. The story is real. I'm just saying. That's what Mike says. And then
I just my only pause. Can I explain? If we have a second here, I'll explain my concern
yes.
there. If people are told, if you're in a house that's struck by lightning, you should not be in the shower because it could kill you. If you're on a lake in a metal canoe and the lake is struck by lightning, it would seem to be that is more of a direct danger.
Well, remember how
the
the lightning strike was miles away. That's why
I didn't. There you go.
It was not.
There you
Believe me, if the lightning strike was in their vicinity, it would not have hit the water first. It would have hit the boat first because it finds the highest, and it'll hit the highest structure. So they would have been hit. But that was a couple of miles away where it happened, which is why they could feel the electricity in the air. Sorry for that being a controversy, Jeff, but it's just... and then Karen, this morning, this is interesting. We were growing up as kids. A kid by the name of Boomer McGee was playing in a baseball game in Boonville. They called the game for rain and lightning. His metal cleats were in a puddle, and he was struck by lightning. A nurse in the stands revived him.
Oh, my goodness.
His metal fillings were blown out of his teeth. when he was struck by lightning. Gives you the idea of the power of the of lightning. Wow.
Is Michael mad at me now?
I don't think so. I think you're okay still. I think you'll be all right. You'll have to work that out with him. I got a break. Let's do, hey, Davey, Hobica's free money question of the day this morning is worth $200. Davey, we're looking for caller number what this morning? Caller number 2. All right, we're going with the second caller through the lines. 315-736-0186.
What's the lightning got your tongue in there?
Caller
Couldn't
number
say 2?
I'm sorry, I was just thinking.
Caller number. I try to do that and talk. I know it's hard. Believe me, it ain't easy. Sometimes I say stupid things, Davey. You're better off. The less you say, the better off you'll be.
Right.
Caller number 2 right now, 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
Connect with more than a mortgage on Americu Credit Union's mortgage app. Experience the ease and expertise of having a personal mortgage assistant in the palm of your hand. Seek pre-approval, upload documents, and have your questions answered from application until your keys are in hand. Visit Americu.org or download the Americu Mortgage app today. Americu and you. Let's connect. Data carrier rates may apply. Membership eligibility is required. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Cruise on down to CAPV's annual Vehicles for Vision car show on August 5th starting at 11 a.m. Always free for spectators, and pre-registration starts now if you'd like to be in the show. Enjoy the music and food, plus $10 raffle tickets for a chance to win a new Craftsman tool chest. To purchase raffle tickets in advance, visit us online or call CAPV at 315-797-2233. The CAPV annual Vehicles for Vision car show, August 5th. For more details, go to the news and events section of capv.org.
Are you in the market for a vehicle that's like new but don't want to break the bank? Look no further than GM certified pre-owned vehicles at Steed Pawnee Chevrolet. With rates as low as 4.9% for 60 months on GM certified vehicles, you can find new roads without the high price tag. Check out the 2022 Chevy Trailblazer LT all-wheel drive with only 36,000 miles, or the 2022 GMC Arcadia all-wheel drive SLE with only 15,000 miles. With a 6-year and 100,000-mile powertrain, limited warranty on all, and an additional 1-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty, you can drive with confidence knowing your vehicle is covered. Visit us online anytime at SteedPawneeChevy.com to browse our complete inventory. Steed Pawnee Chevrolet, Route 28 in Herkimer. See why it's always easy to do business at Steed Pawnee Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership. Customer must qualify top tier through GM Financial. All taxes and fees due on delivery must take delivery by July 31st, 2023.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Oh, Habakkuk is complaining this morning. Why did you increase it to $200? Oops. Here's Rob. Well, what's been done has been done, right? What are we going to do? Hey, Rob, good morning. Hi, Rob. Can you hear me? Hello, test 1, 2, 3. Got you now. Hi, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ready? You ready? Here we
I'm
go.
ready, Bill.
All right,
And
here
if
we
I
go.
don't win this, I'm not ever calling again.
You're never going to call again. This is like your 5th time that you've lost this contest.
The 22nd time.
All right, here we go. 7 seconds you have to answer. This John Travolta hit that peaked at number 43 on Billboard's pop charts was also a 1919 silent film. What is it? Ready, go. Well, that TikTok there that goes back and forth is so evil. I thought you would know this one, Rob.
Yeah, I know.
You want to guess on this one?
I don't want to embarrass myself. Go ahead.
Greased Lightning. We were talking about lightning. Greased Lightning. Remember that from the movie Grease?
Okay, how did...
I thought, Rob, of all of these questions you would have... I thought I was giving away 200 of Hobikis dollars there. Well, listen, I'll give you the all-in-one, the food and fun card. It'll be yours, all right?
Sounds good, Bill.
Okay. He's very upset. All right, Davey, take care of him and be careful with him. Please. Be gentle. Grease Lightning hit number 43 on Billboard's pop charts, sung by John Travolta in 1978. The 1919 film, silent film, was entitled Greased Lightning as well. So there you go. In studio right now, I want to say good morning to Rich Evans and Michelle Morales. Guys, good morning. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good morning.
So, Michelle, I'm going to have you pull that mic really nice. Got to be nice and close.
And
Rich,
don't worry, you won't break it, and you can pop it up a little bit.
I want to start with you here this morning to begin telling the story of your daughter and what your family and your daughter has gone through. Can we start there?
Certainly. Our daughter, when she was 16, was a New Hartford student, and she asked us in April if it would be a good idea to start running more and eat healthier because she was going to be co-captain of the New Hartford varsity basketball team. And, as a parent, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, That was in April, and we didn't know really that there was underlying thoughts with this, and it spiraled quickly into an eating disorder.
Do you think that existed before she had come to you, and how long before that do you think?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
but I think there was body image issues for quite some time.
Okay.
Long before that time, which is common.
Yeah. You look in the mirror, you see something completely different.
Yeah, and we were right in the middle of COVID, so she was looking at the computer screen all day long, right? Working remotely for school.
Yeah.
So it spiraled relatively quickly, and she lost a significant amount of weight, and she began serious OCD tendencies, which is also common with this disease, and she was plummeting physically. So we reached out to our...
How long did it take for you to notice?
We noticed for several months and, had conversations with her. Look, you do the math here.
Yeah,
You're running 5 miles and this is what you're eating today.
Right.
So our social worker in New Hartford, and with the help of Michelle Morales here, we got her into the Golisano Children's Hospital, where they have a program for adolescent to get them physically stable. She was not physically stable at that point. She lost a significant amount of weight, and her health was deteriorating terribly.
How low did her weight go?
I'll just say she lost about 35% of her weight.
Wow.
All right.
And probably didn't need to.
No.
No.
So we got her into Golisano, and her doctor, Dr. Maringer, is a wonderful person, well versed, took her in, and she spent 2 weeks there. She wouldn't eat any solid food, so she was on an NG tube. So they got her physically stable. My wife and I stayed with her. You know, we were passing each other on the throughway. You know, every two or three days, we just kind of swap depending on our schedules and things. And so she gets through that program, and she, you know, her heart rate is good. You know, all the.
Which, by the way, this can cause permanent damage to the heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Michelle
yeah.
can talk more on that
Yeah.
topic for sure. So she finishes the program in Golisano, and they couldn't place her anywhere in a residential facility, which she needed. She was not a patient for outpatient care. She needed a residential. She was on a hospital care because she was on a feeding tube, and they couldn't place her. So she came home, and I was kind of frantic about this, so I was calling all over the country to try to find a facility.
So number one, you had to go to Rochester for treatment.
To get her physically stable.
And then you're trying to find an outpatient facility, residential facility, and you couldn't find anything available in New York State.
On the East Coast.
Wow.
So we took care of Kendall for 2 weeks at home, my wife and I. And, you know, by the grace of God, we were able to get her into Denver 2 weeks later, because everybody was telling me, I was applying all over the country, just trying to, you know, 20 weeks, 24 weeks, 28 weeks. And I just was applying just in case there was a cancellation or something.
Yeah.
So we, the social worker again in New Hartford, along with Michelle and a couple other people, pulled some strings, and we got her into the Eating Recovery Center in Denver, Colorado, which is the #1 eating disorder facility in the country.
Wow.
And she was fortunate enough to get Dr. Bermudez from Cuba. He started that facility 40 years ago, so that was her doctor out there initially. And like I mentioned, my wife stayed out there primarily the whole time.
Yeah,
We're in the midst of COVID, so there was no visitation. And on mid-November, we dropped her off, and I flew back and forth a number of times, and my wife primarily stayed there. And we rented an apartment and a car and whatnot. And we were able to see her the end of March. So she was there from mid-November to the end of March.
Are you saying this year?
2020.
2020.
To
Okay.
actually 2020 into 2020.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And can we fast forward to where she is today, if you don't mind, because it'll make this story a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah. She missed her junior year of high school, so she originally was going to take another year and do 5 years, but she decided she wanted to graduate with her friends, so she took summer classes, and she doubled up as a senior.
Wow.
And graduated with her friends as a senior. She just is ready to go back to her second year at the University of Vermont in Burlington, psychology major.
Wow.
She's an advocate for herself, but an advocate for this disease too.
Yeah.
Michelle can talk about it a little. So
so the story ends well, but was very, 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 very touch and go and very dangerous for a long time. Thankfully, she had parents that not only cared and were willing to sacrifice, but I almost fear that sometimes that you have the means to be able to pull something like this off. Not everybody would probably be in that position. So that's something to think about as well. It amazes me that we don't have services closer to home, Michelle.
That's understandably. At the same time, an eating disorder is very specialized, and not a lot of physicians know how to treat it. So we've created in Rochester a center for treating eating disorders. So we have all levels of care there. This disease is very complex, and it does require sometimes some different levels of care in order to help the person. And right now what we are trying to do is to create the residential treatment facility so families don't have to travel to Denver to get care. We want to keep it in our community. Community is New York State for us. We are very well versed in treatment across the state. Like, who do we start to get people connected to so that they can stay in their community in order to get help?
Yeah.
Jeff. I have a couple questions. Exactly what disorder are we talking about?
Anorexia nervosa.
You talked about the OCD was part of this as well. Can you talk about, so a parent out there listening, maybe some things that they should watch for or be aware of? How did the OCD begin before? Did it begin after?
I think that OCD is something that our family, to a small degree, of my parents even, my dad even, but when you get an eating disorder, it exacerbates.
So someone with OCD, it doesn't mean they're going to be anorexic or have an eating disorder. What it means is if you have an eating disorder, there's a chance that it could really make that condition worse, and that condition could make the eating disorder worse.
So an eating disorder, when I said it was complex, it's very biological, psychological, and environmental. So someone who, for instance, has anorexia nervosa, as they are losing weight, it's going to turn on some different things. Starvation does a lot of very horrible things.
Yeah.
And OCD is very common. You may not have had it before you had this illness, but as the person becomes more and more starved and compromised, you're going to start to see those very compulsive behaviors. Yeah. So, but it's not something that can't be reversed either, except for the exception of sometimes if you do have OCD in your family or whatnot. But you're getting help all along the way, and even if you're going to get treatment for that. So
talk about the and I'm going to come up on a break, and we'll break a bit, and we'll talk about this on the other side. If there are people that might have questions, there may be people out there right now that are fearing that maybe their child or someone they know is going through this. The other part I think that is interesting is there are a lot of kids today who have a weight problem. And I almost feel that you need to seek, instead of handling it on your own, it might be better to work through your pediatrician so that you don't make the mistakes that could drive a child to. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
I can, and at the same time, I get a little wary because some of our very well-intentioned pediatricians, right? They say
don't
things.
know.
Yeah.
Okay,
so.
Hold tight. We'll talk about all of that and the fact that there's a lack of knowledge out there. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8:00.
A new standoff at the border. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Between the federal government and Texas, Republican Governor Greg Abbott vows to Fox,
"We will take this lawsuit all the way to the United States Supreme Court."
Fox's Jared Halpern details the dispute.
Large buoys placed in the Rio Grande and razor wire fencing is both dangerous and illegal, the Biden administration says, filing a lawsuit to block the measures.
He continues to do this really cruel, unjust, inhumane ways of moving forward.
That's White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. House Republicans keep ratcheting up their Biden probes, with Speaker Kevin McCarthy suggesting on Fox it's getting close to impeachment level.
When President Biden was running for office, he told the American public that he's never talked about business. He said his family has never received $1 from China, which we now proved is not true.
The White House denies all that, saying Republican eagerness to go after President Biden, regardless of the truth, is bottomless. Now, next week, House Republicans will get to question Devin Archer, a former business associate of the president's son, Hunter. Later this year, House Republicans will get to question David Weiss, the U.S. attorney overseeing the Hunter Biden tax investigation. The Justice Department agreeing to let him testify at a public hearing.
2 IRS whistleblowers last week testified that Weiss, despite his claim to have full authority over the probe, was sidelined by more senior officials seeking to protect Hunter Biden's father.
That's Fox's Jillian Turner. Tomorrow, Hunter Biden will plead guilty to 2 tax evasion misdemeanors. Former President Obama is mourning his personal chef, saying he's lost a beloved member of his family near Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts.
Police say 45-year-old Tafari Campbell was paddleboarding Sunday night when he went underwater and never resurfaced. Emergency crews did not find his body until yesterday, about 100 yards from shore.
Fox's Todd Pyro. Wildfires keep burning in a heat wave overseas, leading to mass evacuations in Greece and Algeria, where 25 people were killed, 10 of them Algerian soldiers fighting the flames. America's listening to Fox News.
Don't let earache from swimmer's ear, clogged ears, or allergies ruin your day. Get fast, effective relief from the pain and itching with Hyland's Earache Drops, the #1 best-selling earache treatment for over 10 years. See why it's received thousands of 5-star reviews and was awarded Best Over-the-Counter Medicine and Health Product in Earache Relief by U.S. News and World Report. Find Hyland's Earache Drops in the eye and ear aisle at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Claims based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
We have mostly cloudy skies, 64 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. 3 people still recovering after a lightning strike in Madison County during the storms yesterday afternoon. Officials say the 3 men were out doing contracting work on Forbes Road in the town of Lincoln and had taken shelter under a tree during a thunderstorm. The lightning bolt then hit a nearby flagpole, which resulted in all 3 men being injured. 1 required CPR to be resuscitated. He's currently in critical condition at a nearby hospital. Good news, though, all 3 men are expected to survive. The Schenectady County Legislature has voted to approve an emergency order aimed at putting a pause on the arrival of asylum seekers. Dozens of migrants were recently sent to the Super 8 motel in Rotterdam, displacing people who were already staying there. The meeting was held in the town last night. Many of the folks who attended expressed frustration about a lack of communication before the migrants arrived. The emergency declaration will not affect those migrants currently staying at the motel. Drivers across central New York noticing a bit of an uptick at the gas pump. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel now at $3.78 a gallon here in the Utica-Rome market. That's up 2 cents since yesterday alone. It's a dime more than our neighbors in Syracuse are paying, $3.68 in the Syracuse area. Right now, the statewide average is $3.70 a gallon. Nationally, it is at $3.59. The New York State Department of Health urging residents to protect themselves against rabies. It's considered a deadly disease, and those who are infected can be infected if they're bitten by an animal that has the illness. Officials say the best thing to do is to stay away from animals like raccoons, skunks, and foxes, and to make sure that the pets are up to date. Your pets are up to date on their rabies vaccination. Anyone who is exposed to rabies should get medical treatment immediately. And lottery players hoping luck is on their side tonight as the latest Mega Millions drawing is coming up this evening. It's the 5th largest in history at $820 million. The cost of a ticket is $2, and the drawing is streamed live online. WIBX News Time coming up on 8:06. Your Weather Center forecast right now from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, a mixture of sunshine and clouds, warm but not too humid. There's only a small chance for a pop-up downpour thunderstorm in the afternoon. Most places will be dry, a high of 84. Tonight, mainly clear to partly cloudy, near 60. And tomorrow, a good deal of sunshine, warm but not too humid again, a high of 87. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
WIBX News Time is 8:06. The time brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. You can visit them online at clintontractor.net. All right, quickly in sports this morning, the Subway Series Round 2 gets underway tonight at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees hosting the Mets' Domingo Germán, scheduled to start against Justin Verlander. The Pinstripes come in at 53-47. Meanwhile, the Mets continue to struggle at 46-53. The Giants making a move before the start of training camp. They've signed veteran defensive tackle Brandon Bryant in a corresponding move. The team also waived wide receivers Mekhi Polk and Dre Miller. Bryant has played 11 games with the Cleveland Browns and Buffalo Bills over the last 4 seasons. Speaking of the Buffalo Bills, a bit of a freak injury costing them their kick returner. Nyheim Hines was on a jet ski and was said to be just sitting on the jet ski when someone else on a jet ski ran into him. It resulted in a knee injury. Ultimately, he's going to have surgery on his ACL. He's out for the rest of this season. The 26-year-old is expected to be healthy ahead of the 2024 season. And checking in with New Hartford Little League, the 8 to 10-year-olds, they are at the state tournament. Just 8 teams in the New York State tournament. And the tournament kicked off yesterday. Unfortunately, New Hartford came up just short as they lost the first game by a final of 2-1 to Smithtown. Today, they will take on White Plains at noon.
So it is a double elimination?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I want to tell you just quickly here about Brank Construction. If you're in need of concrete work, there's nobody any better than Brank, B-R-A-N-C-K, Brank Construction. Stone walls, retaining walls, old block walls if you need repair or you need new construction, driveways and sidewalks, they have you covered. Call today, 315-894-3481. If you're thinking about a patio, a driveway, a foundation, repair, or new construction, it's Brank. 315-894-3481, Brank Construction. In studio right now is Rich Evans and Michelle Morales. They're talking about a story. Rich's daughter had gone through a life-threatening eating disorder, and the story ends well. She's currently off to college today. She's a psychology major, and as you said, Rich, she's doing really well right now.
She is a strong young lady.
We asked so when we're talking about anorexia in this case, but there are many eating disorders. What are signs that parents and grandparents can look for?
The first thing is anything that's out of balance. So, for instance, if there's a lot of isolation, if your young person is isolating from normal activities that they engage in, if they're isolating from their friends, they're spending a lot more time not wanting to be around people, wanting to be in their room. There's other things like, again, that out of balance. If they're also spending a lot of time in workouts or exercise and activity, or focused on food and what they're eating, if they're starting to remove certain food groups out of their diet, and if they're just spending way too much time on exercise or thinking about food. That should be a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, anybody, teacher, anybody that the individual's with is a sign that something is going on for them.
And I think the scary part for you, Rich, is learning that this wasn't a simple just call your doctor and there's a treatment and there are facilities available, et cetera, et cetera. There was no infrastructure, it seems, for you, or very little assistance out there that you were able to find.
Locally, there was very little assistance. Like Michelle said, it's a very narrow disease.
Yeah.
And most healthcare providers don't know about the signs or how to handle somebody that is going down that path. My wife and I were very fortunate in Denver because we were given a boatload of resources to learn about what's going to happen when she gets home and how, because you're just starting again when she gets home or he gets home.
Yeah.
And we were very fortunate. I will say that Michelle's group has a program in Rochester called the ECHO program, and that is specific to getting healthcare providers knowledgeable about the disease. It doesn't take a lot of their time, but it's a wonderful resource that maybe Michelle can talk a little bit more about.
Michelle.
Project ECHO. We have 2 Project ECHOs. Sorry. One is for physicians, healthcare workers, psychologists, psychiatrists. Once a month, we have a session in which a provider is allowed to bring a case de-identified to us. And we help that physician or that healthcare worker to kind of problem solve as to what's going on for them, and then how do they get the support they need in order to help their patient. We have another ECHO, which is specifically for school personnel. So anybody in a school system can join, and it's same kind of thing. They can bring a case. I did not mention for ECHO, but ECHO also, the other piece is that the other half of the ECHO session that we have is all didactic. So there's some educational, we're spreading the word about how do we see these, how to identify them, what can you do to get support. There's all different nuances that we want all community members to know about and to get that education. So it's very little time that they have to spend, and then they have access to a world of education that they can get online after they've joined.
What about? But this is something they have to do on their own, right? The physician has to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
So there are programs out there. This program in particular, but it's the physician, it's the school, they all have to reach out.
They do. Well, we're the organization, the Western New York Comprehensive Care Center for Eating Disorders that I work for. We do a lot of seeking out and making sure that we're getting that out to them. Once we're in contact with families, we're pushing it all over the place so that more people are getting educated.
So before the break, I asked you if you're noticing something, or maybe your child is overweight and you feel that's not healthy. The old way, there are many old ways, right? Right down to a parent calling a kid fat, or you're getting heavy, or things like that. How that can stick with a child and can cause problems like this. So maybe the idea is to reach out to your pediatrician, and you didn't feel that, and I guess the program you just talked about would help in that regard. Mm-hmm. But this is something I think foreign to a lot of doctors.
It's very foreign to doctors, and I want the families to reach out to their pediatrician. But having some knowledge as a family to come into it, a person who is overweight can be suffering from anorexia. So it's not about the weight; it's actually about the thoughts that are going inside of the person and their approach to how they're viewing things.
Yeah.
So we want a physician not to be just focusing on the weight, but we want the holistic. Oh, I see that you've lost 10 pounds. Tell me a little bit more about that. How did you do that? So understanding where that's coming from. Mm-hmm. So I would say, definitely reach out, but parents have to be involved, family members, support people have to be involved in understanding as well, so that we can work together.
What about, and maybe I'm wrong, but I've found that nutritionists tend to be really, really well-versed and great in their fields with people who don't have an eating disorder. Mm-hmm. A nutritionist is not always the answer.
They can be a great support.
Yeah.
I would want again, it's the thoughts.
Right,
if you're a dietitian or a nutritionist, it's really delving into what is the goal. The goal is losing weight, but what's behind that? So asking the right questions is going to help them.
Yeah.
To help the person.
Yeah.
And then then the nutritionist or the dietitian can help to get that person connected to the medical providers if they're seeing.
Right.
Yeah.
Rich.
I think what's important to note is the combination of a therapist with a nutritionist.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you have both at the same time, which we experienced, they work together, they understand the patient, and I think there must.
But you experienced that out of town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Through Rochester.
Yeah, again, that's a collaboration of care that we really push, because we want everybody it takes a village to heal someone, and we want everyone a part of that team, and that communication piece is very, very important.
Yeah, family-based therapy.
Yeah.
The families really got to understand what they need to do when they get home.
Right.
Michelle alluded to emotion coaching a minute ago, and understanding what you say is really important. Like you mentioned.
Stereotypically, when we hear about this, it's often a young woman. Do statistics back that up?
No, not anymore. There's many men that suffer from anorexia, bulimia. Let me just talk about men, for instance. they go under the radar quite often because it is considered a female disease. And so when they start to run into problems, they're not seeking help. So there's a lot of men that get into trouble very quickly because they don't seek help.
Yeah.
And it's there generally men are more focused on that bodybuilding, like the muscle sculpting and things like that, as opposed to the females that are more about weight loss. So even that is that approach helps them to go under the radar a lot as well. So, but it affects all people, all races, all colors, all shapes, sizes, ethnicity.
It's just, I don't want to confuse the issue, but just as you're talking about this, I've seen some documentaries on men who go like into the steroids, and it's like, I mean, the guy is ginormous, and in his mind, he's not big enough. He's just not big.
It's again, it's not about right. That's dysmorphia we're talking about, and it's not about what we're seeing on the outside. It's more about the drive, the thoughts that are propelling them to do those things. So we want to help them. It's very torturous to be in that because that's all you're thinking about all the time.
Yeah. How do you how do you explain the mirror? So everyone else can see it, and that person, whether male or female, when they look in the mirror, they don't see what everybody else is seeing.
So what we do with patients is we would say, let's cover that mirror. And really try not to focus. It's hard. It's hard. You're surrounded. You'll talk about people that are just, walking down the street and they can see their silhouette in the windows, and that can set them off. So the more that we're getting, and that's someone who's very, very sick as well. So as they're going through treatment and getting that support, we're giving them tools to help them to move away from that. So
can you also talk about the other dangers with any of these eating disorders? It's beyond just losing weight to a point where it's dangerous for your health. It can affect your stomach. It can affect your heart. Talk about the other.
Eating disorders affect all organs of the body. It doesn't matter which eating disorder it is. So it can be very, very dangerous. So even a bulimic, someone who is purging in order to get rid of the nutrition that they've had, you can kill yourself very quickly. Even for anorexia, it slows all of the organs down, and they can die from heart attack. So it's a very dangerous illness, and the sooner we can get help for these individuals, the better.
Okay, so you have the program the ECHO program, which is important for physicians. It would also be something I think important for a parent to know about. If you're going to your pediatrician, to be able to say, hey, there's a program out there that can make sure you're completely educated on this as well as we come to you for help.
Yeah, we want physicians to be able to treat in their community and have knowledge and feel confident that they can treat their patients. So this ECHO is bringing all of the physicians together so that they have that support. So yes, definitely if the parents. I work with parents. I do a lot of training and support for parents, helping them to educate them about the illness and then what to do to support their loved one in ways that are going to be most helpful. Because it can be as a parent, you don't always know what to do. Yeah. Right, Rich? So
Michelle was our peer mentor through our journey in Golisano and after, she was a wonderful resource and now a very close friend. And she was with us the whole time and gave us a lot of direction. And I probably called her every couple of days for a long time.
How much, obviously you and your wife seem to be the perfect parents.
Yes, they are.
And in terms of, you realize that you're imperfect, right? Yeah. You don't know how to handle this, and you reached out and you really reached out and found help. Not every parent, though. I think there's an embarrassment that comes along with this, not only for the child, but also for the family and for the parents, right?
Yes, that is a barrier.
Yeah.
if they're working with me, I put that to rest. Like you can't cause an illness in your child.
Right.
If your child has diabetes, you did not cause diabetes. If your child has asthma, they can't cause an eating disorder.
Right.
But they are the best support.
So not only embarrassment, but a potential guilt that a parent might feel, we did this to our kid.
Right, yes.
Did you go through that, Rich?
I wish that we had acted quicker.
Yeah.
And saw the signs a lot quicker than we did. That's one thing that I think we failed a bit, but it was just so fast.
Yeah.
And that's the only regret we have. It's your child. You do anything for your child, and you got to make sure they're happy and healthy.
And there is no with this. This is it's not. You stop doing that. Stop this behavior. We've spent our whole lives with our kids to be able to say, don't do this anymore. And your children listen. That is not going to happen with an eating disorder.
No, it has a mind of its own.
It
becomes
does,
a monster of its own. And
the eating disorder takes over. Oh, it takes over their brain, and the rationalism goes away.
Another indication the person needs help. Like if they're not listening to reason and.
All right.
And you. As far as like the guilt piece, yes, as every parent, we're obviously going to have guilt. At the same time, you didn't cause this, and you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't.
Right,
most people would not have known. I didn't know when my child. She kind of the same situation.
I was going to ask you what got you into this.
So my daughter was a runner, and similar situation. She came to me and said, "I want to start eating better so that I can be fast." She already was, and that kind of was the turning point where she became very hyper focused on her eating, wanting to be faster and faster and faster, and that's where it spiraled out of control. So,
Rich, what? Not you. We've already heard what you want people to know. What does your daughter want people to know?
I think my daughter would really like people to understand that this is a growing issue. We have 1,000 kids in Oneida and Herkimer County right now that have some form of eating disorder, that 20% of them need residential care.
Wow.
So her focus is getting the message out there that there's people in need.
Wow, that shocks me.
Is it social
That's
media?
Such a large number.
Social media, you feel that is driving it and driving the increase?
That's a big part of it, I think.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, wow. Peer pressure and just watching what someone else looks like in your eyes and feeling that you don't look that same way. That I'm assuming can drive that.
Even besides just like looks, there's also the environment of like a young person not having control over what's going on around them. So what's one thing that we all can control? Well, we can control, what we eat. So it's oftentimes it doesn't have to be about a body. It can be about, I'm experiencing severe anxiety. I don't know what to do with this. My daughter would tell you that she was a very anxious person. And she found when she didn't eat, that actually calmed her anxiety down. Well, she discovered that herself.
Yeah.
If I was a super anxious person, I'd probably do the same thing to control my anxiety. So for her, it wasn't always about body image, but controlling her anxiety.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of things in our society that create a lot of anxiety and depression. Depression is another.
Did I assume things ended well with your daughter?
Oh, my daughter is 26 years old. She's a nurse. She's getting her yoga therapy degree right now. So, yeah, she's terrific. So.
All right. Again, special thanks, Rich, to be able to come out and talk about this. I give you all the credit in the world. It's not easy. I can't imagine that it's easy. But I feel like the thought for your daughter, and I'm assuming for you and your wife, is that this may be helping out someone else going forward.
We're really working hard to fundraise for the Healing Connection Residential in Rochester. It's going to be a wonderful facility that we don't have anything like it in upstate New York.
Yeah.
For somebody that was in Kendall's position, needing hospital residential care. That's why we had to go to Denver. It's a very important project for our family. So we're have this kind of grassroots fundraising thing going on with our family, and they're getting there. They're getting close. So the facility's wonderful, and it's a really important project.
How can people give? How can they help?
You can send donations to the Healing Connection. It's 1320 University Ave in Rochester. Their phone number is 585-746-7048. Or if you'd rather contact myself, you can contact me by 315-404-6010. We've sent out, Kendall wrote a letter about the project, and we've done a mass mailing locally, and we're still working on that. And as we all know, we have a very giving community here in the Mohawk Valley, so it's been very successful so far.
All right, and what would you add, and what would you say to parents and grandparents who think maybe they need some help right now?
So listen to your gut feeling. It's telling you something. Don't shut that down. I would ask that we want you to get support and ask questions. So contact us at www.nyeatingdisorders.org. That is our website, and we can get you connected. We have a care manager, so we can start to help get you connected to services. I'm available for support as well as information on ECHO and all the other services we offer.
Okay. All right. Rich, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And Michelle, thank you so much, for what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We'll break. It's 8:28 at WIBX.
Check out Mattress Express's grand opening of their new superstore in New Hartford, 4488 Commercial Drive next to Pet Supply Plus, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy Hybrid, Purple, Puffy, The Number Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more. Stop in, open 7 days a week.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And did we mention it's aluminum free? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 500. LumeDeodorant.com, code 500 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 500.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Deodorant you use on your butt? You heard that right. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, founder of Lumi Whole Body Deodorant. It's time to summer-proof your body odor. Lumi's formula works everywhere. Pits, underboobs, and yep, butts too. All those places that naturally tend to get a little bit stinky when the weather gets hot. Lumi's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. That's 3 whole days of fresh fun in the sun. As an OBGYN, I met thousands of women looking for a better way to control odor below the belt. So I created Lumi, a pH-optimized, aluminum-free deodorant that actually works, with over 150,000 5-star reviews to prove it. Ready for your freshest summer ever? Head to LumiDeodorant.com to get started.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 23 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a free product of your choice and ships free with code 23. LumeDeodorant.com, code 23 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 23.
The Munson Arts Festival returns to downtown Utica with a car show on Sunday, July 23rd and continues through Saturday, July 29th. Experience the best of the local art scene for free with a sidewalk art show, evening concerts, and so much more. Don't miss fun family-friendly activities each day of the week like children's crafts, a petting zoo, and art story with Utica Public Library. Starts 10 a.m. each day. See the full schedule at munson.art. That's munson.art.
Stop overpaying for your furniture. Manufacturers are dying for the business. I've got 5-piece dining sets, regular $5.99, now just $2.99. Buy it today, have it today, only at My Carl's.
And Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize your car insurance to save hundreds. Here's what those savings sound like in dollar bills. Here's what it sounds like in quarters. And here's what that sounds like in cryptocurrency, a thing I totally understand. 1010, I am money, cha-ching, beep boop, $sign.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary, underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
WIBX.
We have cloudy skies and 67 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:34. Talks resuming today between UPS and the Teamsters in hopes of agreeing to a new contract. The current agreement expires on July 31st, and the union is already set to strike. Several large companies that utilize UPS have notified customers this week that there may be shipping delays. The blistering heat wave that's been hitting the Southwest for weeks is expanding toward the middle of the country. It's likely to bring temperatures toward 100 degrees in several Midwest states this week, while the East Coast could see its hottest weather of the summer. Tens of millions of Americans remain under heat alerts. High temperatures remain in the forecast in states like California, Nevada, Texas, and Florida. Here in New York, we are looking at temperatures into the low to mid-90s by the end of this week. A man is being sentenced to 4 years in prison for his role in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. Peter Stager repeatedly beat a police officer with a flagpole as the officer was being dragged down the Capitol steps. In a video taken that day, Stager said, "Death is the remedy for every single one of those Capitol law enforcement officers," end quote. This week, a judge sentenced him to over 4 years in prison after he said he took full responsibility for his actions that day. The IRS is ending unannounced visits to taxpayers. The agency says it's looking to enhance safety measures and help ease confusion among taxpayers. Revenue officers typically visit homes and businesses to collect unpaid taxes, according to the IRS. The announcement says that, except for a few unique circumstances, that decades-long practices will now come to an end, and instead those taxpayers will get a mailed letter to schedule an appointment. Miami-Dade police director Freddie Ramirez is in stable condition after he shot himself in the head at a Florida highway. That's according to authorities who said Sunday's incident happened after an argument with his wife. The director was on duty at the time. New research shows most older adults with cognitive impairment continue to get behind the wheel. A University of Michigan study looked at 600 adults older than 65 in the state of Texas. It found that more than 60% with cognitive impairment were still driving regularly. WIBX News Time, 8:36. A quick look at your Weather Center forecast. Cloudy skies today, although we could see a pop-up shower or two this afternoon, maybe a thunderstorm as well. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 62. Wednesday, sunny, a high of 90 degrees. Thursday, chance of showers and thunderstorms late morning, otherwise partly sunny and a high of 87. Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 91. Bill, right now we have 68 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. It is 8:37.
All right, coming up, we'll speak with Assemblyman Brian Miller in studio here this morning. And let me tell you about River Hills Properties. If you're thinking about selling your home, my wife and I would absolutely recommend River Hills Properties. When we used River Hills, it was a bit earlier in their business. When they first started, it was just Bill and Robin. That's when I met them and began learning about the River Hills concept. It was to offer different services that other real estate agencies don't provide. We learned firsthand. We wanted the listing agent to be there when our house was shown. Just somebody to be there to keep an eye on things. And we could not find an agency that would do that for us. River Hills did, and they do it for everyone. That's a part of their service. So is the book, 40 to 100 pages, filled with details about the home. They never use the lockbox. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. They're with you from the very beginning to the very end, and that lowers that stress level. So when they started, nobody knew their name. River Hills Properties. Today, they're in the top 2 and the number 1 independent real estate agency in all of Central New York. That is all about service. So if you want service when selling your home, contact River Hills Properties. Call today, 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Less money for the exact same thing. Hope this is clear enough. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, they're here to answer. Switch today and get a second month of service for free. Go to consumercellular.com/free month and enter promo code free month. Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular's single line 5 gigabyte data plan and unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023. Promotion subject to terms and conditions.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And did we mention it's aluminum free? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 500. LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, bad day on the way today, I think. Eventually by afternoon, right? Looking at a little sun, little clouds. Tomorrow looks beautiful, but hot, and then the humidity really kicks in. It's going to be pretty hot and humid as the week goes on. Assemblyman Brian Miller in studio right now. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be on.
So this is your point where you get to be home, you get to be doing the office hours, you get to meet and greet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What are people telling you? What are they upset about?
Well, they're still upset about the our climate. I guess you want to call it the climate action plan. They're all worried. I was at a wedding on Saturday, and they're asking me about heat pumps. So they're going to take my, I have an oil furnace. Should I get it serviced? Should I go look at electric heat? What should I do? And it's still up in the air.
Yeah.
The plan's there, but hopefully we can persuade.
Whatever happened to, if you could adjust his thing, whatever happened to natural gas? For the longest time, you would see commercial after commercial about how natural gas is the cleaner alternative.
Well, it is.
Right. But now all of a sudden they want to get rid of it.
It's not the cleanest. No, of course, we all want to take care of our environment.
Yeah.
We want to be good stewards and leave it for our future generations. Right. But, we need a energy plan that uses natural gas and uses electricity. Yeah. Let's think about the snowstorm out in Buffalo last year.
Right.
If we had solely electric heat, whatever, there may have been more deaths than there were.
Right.
So this plan really isn't going to work.
So the struggle for me is understanding how, when that argument is raised at the table, how do those pushing these, 50 by 30 or whatever the number is, there it's always got to be some catchy nickname, 30% by 30 or 50 by 50 and all this stuff. How do they react to that? They're like, we had this storm and had these policies been in place, twice as many people, 3 times as many people may have died.
We have the arguments, Jeff. They look at us with a lot of time blank expressions. We talk about the grid. Everything that I've read over the last 6-8 months. National Grid was able to add 13 or 15 gigawatts to the grid over 25 years, and now we expect this electrical output to be 40 or 50 gigawatts. This can't be done.
Well, if you have one of the fancy Wi-Fi thermostats, and you've signed up for there's a program, I forget what they call it. National Grid, I guarantee you, by Wednesday and Thursday, is going to be issuing a power shortage alert, or whatever they call it, and your thermostat will literally, maybe you have it set at 71, it'll go up to 78 automatically if you've signed up for it. Why? Because they don't have there's too much load on the grid, and so how do we get there? I do feel like maybe what they're trying to do is, if we say it has to be done by 2035 or 2035, then everybody will move in that direction.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But these are unrealistic goals. They can't be met. Let's take a step back. Let's put these goals in place. We got the public confused on what's going on, and the public's up in arms too.
I think, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure in Europe, I heard that by 2030, all vehicles manufactured have to be electric. 2030
in Europe.
In Europe, yeah. So we're not alone in this craziness, and they're having the same exact arguments about we just don't have, and they're ahead of us when it comes to the infrastructure by far. But they're having the same arguments over there, saying we're not ready. We can't be ready for that.
We will be.
Yeah.
Let's look at it.
It's coming.
Engineers should be the ones that put the plan
right.
together instead of politicians. We do that all the time.
And what about a funny word called capitalism?
Let the market drive it.
Let the market drive it. And you know what? The market is already driving it.
Yes, it is.
Look at what companies like Ford and American car companies are doing.
There's EVs everywhere.
They're already moving there, right?
we drive probably 1,000 miles a week, maybe more.
Yeah.
And you see more Teslas, you see more the Fords, the Chevys. You see a lot of electric vehicles out there, and they're all noticeable now.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus we're seeing more charging stations, and I think that's one of the biggest stumbling blocks behind the EVs. They need to be able to charge 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Right.
We just can't just think about going to Stewart's or whatever and having taken up all the stations, and you got to be someplace.
Here's an interesting thing that I learned over the weekend with the Turning Stone 30-year celebration is in that Tesla facility they're putting in out at the Turning Stone, which is in place right now. If you wanted to buy a Tesla, you can go to the Turning Stone and you can buy a car. You can buy a Tesla. You needed, if you need service, eventually it'll get to that. But they've added all of these charging stations, including the more rapid charging station. Yep. But here's what Tesla has done. They've also added universal charging stations. So we're finally getting past that point where if you have a Volt and not a Tesla, you can still charge your vehicle.
You don't have to go to the Volt charging.
You don't have to go to the. It needs to be universal.
And that's the way it should be. And
that would be a good legislation. That would be a good piece that would make sense, right?
Yep. Well, that's what we need in Albany. We need some more common sense, good sense legislation.
Should we run things, the three of us, just together, that we could do it?
Well, I think we do a great job. I think
so.
I think the debates would be very, very interesting.
They would be interesting.
Not sure about great, but better, probably, yeah.
So, maybe there comes the time where all stoves are electric, but just in the commercial, just think about everybody. I mean, think about your own home. Well, how would you pull this off if you're natural gas?
Let's just take a step back and think about how soon we forgot about the ice storm in Watertown.
Right.
Okay. Everything's electric. Yeah. Everything's down. It's 30 degrees out. There's no heat in your house. We could survive. What are the elderly going to do?
Right. Right.
So there's situations here that really have to be thought about.
And so that's a big issue for people right now.
Yep.
They're worried about it.
We live in the Northeast. I mean, we have these storms. It happens.
And we live in upstate New York where there are a lot of hills. That all plays a role in this. And there's a lot of rural area where you don't have that infrastructure to charge up. One thing they should be really worried about is the mandate that the school districts add all these school buses.
With the electric buses.
Yeah.
It's going to increase the cost of these buses. Probably double.
This might be the greatest unfunded mandate of all time in New York State.
Yeah, but I'm sure there'll be greater ones coming.
Yeah,
they
always
always seem, They always seem to go. You did mention a ball player that got struck by lightning earlier on the show this morning,
yes.
and Tim McGee. I remember when that happened.
You do remember that?
Yes, I do. It was he played for Chadwick's High School. And I don't remember where it was, Remsen, Adirondack.
I believe our listener said Boonville. It was played in Boonville.
But I can remember when that happened, and he survived. And, we just had the lightning strike out in Lincoln. It's in my district.
I know,
and it's last night the storms were pretty intense.
Were you ever struck by lightning?
I don't know. When I had COVID,
you've had everything else.
I was very fortunate to make it through it. But I want to say one thing. I was in the Doodah Parade the other day
in Ilion,
and I met two nurses that took care of me.
Really?
One, of course, I didn't recognize the face because of the.
This was while you were in the hospital.
I was in ICU.
For those who don't know, Assemblyman Brian Miller, you were one of the first in the area to contract COVID. It happened when you were in Albany. Yep. You assume, right, that's where you caught it. But it got so bad for you because it was the beginning. I don't know that number one, I think it was stronger then, and you were on a ventilator.
Yeah, I was on a ventilator for a couple of weeks, but when I was walking the Doodah Parade last Friday night, and this voice came out of the crowd, Assemblyman Miller. I didn't recognize the face, but I recognized the voice. And she goes, I took care of you when you were in ICU.
That's unbelievable.
And then there was another nurse that said to me, when we finally got you up to take your first steps, I was the one that was walking with you. And
was that at a Utica hospital, or was that in Albany?
St. Luke's.
At St. Luke's, okay.
But again, I can't say enough to the healthcare professionals out there that work their way through this, and they're still having issues with the recruitment and retention.
I know, yeah.
So, just want to put a shout out.
That's a big issue. Of course, you were a big baseball player as well. You were quite the athlete.
Yeah, and it hit me pretty hard. And I know Jeff's umpiring, and I gotta tip my hat to him. My son's a pitcher, and he always has something to say about the umpires. He's giving me the outside corner. He's giving me the inside corner.
Has your son had Manaski yet?
No, he's not. He's playing for Elmira, so Jeff isn't to that level yet. I'm sure he will be.
I'd love to be.
Yeah.
But one thing I do miss is the travel season this year.
I know.
It's
we've talked about that.
It's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
But, the district's really working out well. We're happy to be in 122nd right now. Like I said, when we first started, we're out trying to find which way all the streams run. We want to know when the floods are going to be. We were at the Oriskany Creek Basin meeting the other night. That's gonna affect everybody in Kirkland, Westmoreland, up through Sangerfield, Deansboro along the way.
Let me ask you. I know that we're looking at the congressional lines are going to be. Right, is it being challenged now?
Yeah, it's being challenged.
It looks like it's going to happen, though.
Probably they're in the process of appeal to stop it.
Yeah.
If it goes the way the assembly lines were redrawn, we lost maybe one town and they shifted us here or there. Maybe they'll go that way. I hope it does.
Does that leave the assembly lines stay the same?
We're done.
Okay, that's over with.
In my district, I lost Richfield Springs and I picked up Lauren.
Okay.
So
all right.
Didn't change matters much.
And but I would imagine they're probably going to redraw the congressional lines.
Probably,
I know it's
I'm
being
expecting
appealed,
it.
but
So we'll see. Keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully they don't chop up the 22nd
all over again.
As we think they could.
Yeah. What are you worried about when you go back? Obviously, beyond the gas issue, the electric grid issue.
Hopefully,
the bail reform
thing
is
still a hot topic. I know it's been quiet lately. They think
they fixed it.
They fixed it. They did. But talking to law enforcement, they feel it's just a lot of jumbled words in the new law.
How much what I don't understand is we keep hearing. So there's an attorney that we talked to downstate who's a proponent of this, and there are a few in the area as well who's saying, listen, I would rather make a mistake here and there and not trample on someone's constitutional rights. And I would agree with that. However, I think we went too far. But there are some that are saying, no, that judge did that incorrectly. They should have been able to post bail there. That shouldn't have been done that way, et cetera, et cetera. I keep hearing that. Are we apparently the way the authors of this new bail reform perceive what has been written, and the way the judges in the state are perceiving it? There seem to be two different comprehensions there. That's a problem, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. But again, that's the minority arguing that point.
Right.
Law enforcement and the DAs are arguing this other point. I would, if that attorney wants to argue that, we'll listen to what he has to say. But we need to listen to law enforcement and our DAs to come up with a good plan.
Yeah, they all seem to be pretty much in
let's
unison.
get it done. This has been going on for long enough, and the way it's, they think they made a good change. I don't think they did, but let's get it done. Hopefully, this year's session will be coming up soon in January.
And at the end of the day, it seems that the only way this gets fixed is when the ugly results of their lawmaking hits their downstate home districts.
Well, I hope there's I hope there's no nobody gets hurt or any of that. But
that seems to be the only way they pay attention.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. One thing we got going on is the Boonville Night County Fair.
That's this week.
Let's get up there. It's fair season. We got that going on this week. Let's take a ride up to Boonville. Let's go up and support our 4-H, our fair goers there, and it's really good. And we got Otsego County Fair coming up next week, so it's fair after fair after fair after
And
fair.
before you know it, Herkimer, and then after the Herkimer County Fair, it's the State Fair. And then it's football season, and the Mets will be done. Thanks, Brian, for bringing all these memories. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you. Brian Miller, Assemblyman. We're back tomorrow. Enjoy your day.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Enjoy a group outing this summer at Saratoga Racecourse. Reservations are now available for the climate-controlled paddock suite, accommodating 80 guests. And for large-scale corporate gatherings at the rail at the 1863 Club, head down the stretch to the Stella Artois Spa Verandas for groups of 50, or tailgate at the Turn with a carload of friends. For casual outdoor gatherings undercover, featuring buffet lunch with Prosecco offerings. Enjoy the Mionetto Easy Goer. Visit Naira.com to book your Saratoga group outing today.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Things are moving closer to opening an impeachment inquiry. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Which provides Congress the strongest power to get the rest of the knowledge and information needed.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy tells Fox they've proven the Biden family got
It's your turn to stay and play at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Enjoy award-winning hotels, dining, and live entertainment. Play the newest slots and classic table games. Check out the state's largest poker room. And don't miss our world-famous bingo hall. Turning Stone is the perfect gaming getaway. And the next big winner might be you. Turning Stone Resort Casino. It's your turn.
Need a bed? Get a giant 85-inch flat screen TV or a beautiful Weber stainless steel grill at Mattress Express's grand opening of their newest superstore, New Hartford, Commercial Drive 4488, next to Pet Supplies Plus. Stop in, open 7 days a week.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply and the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for